Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you Pratly for broadcasting this NA Friday event. We have two great rounds, the first map being the Colquitt's Defense. You're seeing an overview of that map right now, followed up by the Washington Street. Two very different maps tonight, one that's very big and open, the other one not so much, as you can see from the overviews. Thank you to our Patreons for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video and hit the link to Patreon where you can get videos and behind the scenes videos. Our teams for tonight, on the Confederate side, we have Hood's Division, Hampton's Legion, Pickett's Brigade, Mississippi Brigade, 5th North Carolina, Shenandoah Regulars, 6th Louisiana, and the Army of Northern Virginia. Whereas on the Union side, we have the Northern Aggression, 79th New York Highlanders, Pennsylvania Army, 42nd Pennsylvania, Irish Volunteer Brigade, and 9th Corps. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy.
Hello, we're on Battle Line Network, back again for a Friday night set of fights. Tonight, our first map is Colquitt's Defense. We have a whole conglomeration of units fighting on both sides. A lot of Union units, a lot of CSA units. I'm not going to run through all of them. They will be in the video description and at the start of the video. I am Colonel Pratly, broadcasting again tonight, and with me is Second Lieutenant Carter of the 9th New York.
Hello, hello.
And Colquitt's is a really interesting map, and what we typically see on Colquitt's is there's two real ways to play it as the Union, and looks like Union is going with what I would typically consider way number 2. They are moving straight off to the right side. Looks like they're going towards that hill. That's the typical play if you are not certain you can break through the woods, or if you just want to do something a little different. I would say the primary play, though, is to go straight down into those woods and turn it into a real firefight in there immediately, but you can see the CSA has prepped for that right off the bat.
I think the Union might know they're a little bit outnumbered right now, and that's why they're taking the top route as opposed to across the field and into the woods.
Yeah, it is only a six-man difference right now, with, I would say, CSA probably has more Ardy. Let's have a quick look here. Looks like CSA with 12 Ardy guys, Union with 7, so that's a 5-man difference. So in terms of actual numbers of infantry, it's exactly the same right now. But you can see CSA are shifting immediately up the hill. They know what Union are doing. I think they're going to make it well before the Union do. Oh, that is a
big
hell of a shot.
No, that's one of the things about Union on this map. If you're not going into the woods, you better expect to get hit by Arty 24/7. There's no stopping it. Oh, and that's another shot right in the
Yeah, that one I didn't see as much blood from, but those were 2 killer shots right off the bat. Clearly the CSA were waiting for this strategy, and that first shot was one of the best Arty shots I've seen in a long time. There was a lot of bodies there.
Oh yeah. Lord, you could see all the blood on the trail.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of desiccated limbs.
Yep.
Let's see. Union is continuing on this route. I don't think they are necessarily fully aware that the CSA is well ahead of them right now. This is not a good push for Union.
Here.
Yeah, it's not a good push for Union either if the CSA has time to take that road, because you have to go over that wall, which is actually quite difficult to run over.
Yeah, there's a CSA regiment mirroring them to the west. I don't know how this is going to go for the Union, given that they're going to get hit by Arty and enemy infantry.
Doesn't look like the whole Union is going. It looks like TNA is stopping on the fence line, but 2 more Arty hits. Jesus, this Arty is killing it so far, and the Union's lost a significant amount of men, and they're just trying to run past the CSA.
Yeah, it seems like they're coming in piecemeal, going up and over the snake rail.
Good shot from the Union officer there. Kilroy with a nice shot. And a second one takes down the officer.
Aren't given any time. They're getting right in there.
Yeah, and this should be a extremely easy win for the CSA in this charge here, because the Union are spread out the whole way along that open field.
Yep.
And let's see the effect it has on casualties. Yeah, I mean, you can see the Union is already dropping behind on tickets.
Because they are all not even waste it.
Yeah, the Union are all dying in skirmishing right now. None of them are dying in formation, and the CSA are almost all in formation.
Yeah, they can't even get up there to fire their rifles.
The Union just needs to rethink this and stop on the road and regroup, because right now they're running into a slaughter.
It seems they they learned. It seems like they're not sending as many guys in anymore. I see, but
Yeah, some of them have stopped, but they have well and truly lost those rocks. And this now is a really bad position for the Union because they are facing an enemy who have significantly better cover than they do, and are also uphill. So that's a pretty brutal attack for the Union, and they're still going in. 79th New York TNA going in.
The whole CSA line right on these rocks is just slaughtering.
Most of them are not even going to make it. Yeah, most of them are not even
going to
make it.
None of them are making it.
Few guys make it into close quarters. No, none of them do.
A brave charge, but not a smart one.
Let's see what Union does from spawn. Union actually are doing the smart thing here. I think they're going nothing and go straight down to the woods. I think this was a ploy from them to try and bait the CSA up there so they have a free shot into the woods.
That might be it.
Yeah, they certainly have no bayonets.
That's not really
There
some
seems
of
to be
them
a backup regiment up on the wood line with the CSA. I don't know how good they'll be able to hold the rest of them.
I'm not seeing them low in the wood line though. There is one towards the top of the wood line.
Main spawn.
And Union, even the guys who are up on that hill are also shifting across. So Union is going to get down into this wood line here. The question is, do their respawns get there before the CSA is able to respond? Because if they don't, if I was the CSA here, I would just charge out the weakened Union force as soon as they get a foothold.
Indeed. It seems like Hood's division is going down into, what is it? Down to the south, into the woods to meet the Union. They definitely see him probably crossing the field now.
Yeah, the Union will make it there first for sure, but the CSA is gonna. This is more standard Colquitt's gameplay. The CSA is probably gonna hold a little bit higher up in the woods. You know, there's these big rock piles up here, and you don't even need huge rocks because with the slope as well, you get a lot better cover than being downhill. So the Union is going to have these big rocks to hold on, but the CSA is going to have a lot of smaller rocks that they can hold positions on. We'll see if they come deeper into the forest.
It seems the Union is still a little split here, though, with people at the northeast near the road, and then we've got a bit of the team down in the woods.
A lot of the team in the woods at this point. It looks like most of them are making their way that way.
Whole regiment is at the White House here. It might take them a little bit of time to meet the rest of their team.
And we got HL here forming up sort of halfway down the hill in the woods. And on their left, just on the edge of the woods, we've got AMV also moving up on the flank of the Union. I'm interested to see how the Union responds to this. Will AMV actually charge them? They're charging a couple of guys who are out of line. That's going to get more tickets on the Union.
6LA is down here shooting men in the field in the back as they run down.
Well, AMV do clear those two Rambos, but they take a volley in return. Not a lot of them go down. A few of them go.
Oh, yep. HD's got clean shots on those guys running across the field. I would not want to be them right now.
HL is pushing up pretty hard in this forest right now. They're going to actually charge, I think. Officers running in alone. That's going to get 5 tickets off on him.
Yeah, AMV is playing.
Yeah, he goes down. Yeah, HL, 5th NC are charging. This is not going to be a good charge for them, though. That seems like a really ill-advised charge to me. There's a lot more Union than I think they realize. Unless those AMV guys can come into the flank.
HL seems to be holding them back with the fire alone, so
some of the team went in.
Union can figure out how to break through before they get, grinded down to critical mass.
Yeah, some of the team certainly went in. Some of the Union is now countercharging, but most of them are still staying back.
It is. I don't know if this is going to work out.
Oh, there we go. I'm hearing them all call for the charge now. They're going in.
They are, but they're getting shot up as they go in.
I think the CSA have now used their shots, though, and they are outnumbered in that charge. I think the Union will push through there.
Seems CSA is pulling back a little. HL here is holding these rocks in the tree just a little in the rear.
Yeah, we got kind of a multi-line defense here, and I kind of like to see this, actually, because it's meaning they get multiple rounds of shots into the Union.
Indeed. Union might be going around to these large rocks here.
AMV coming in from the flank, though. This might actually wipe the Union charge out here if AMV gets in there. Still got some Union out by the house. Not a lot, kind of scattered forces.
79th New York over here is holding up on these large rocks. I think that might be a little bit of an issue if they can get a foothold. It's a
Yeah,
popular
this
spot
is
for
a
the
really good set of rocks. It's very hard to push units off of. The issue they've got though is that their allies down the hill, who looks like a mix of
Are
9th
getting
Corps,
slaughtered.
IVB, TNA, are getting pushed out of there.
I don't even think they've been pushed out. I think they're all dead.
No, they're still up, a few of them,
Oh,
and their
yeah,
flags
they're
up.
holding
More
this rock,
importantly,
yeah. It's really hard for them to keep them up there. I know. I think the rest of that the rest of the CSA regiment seems to be kind of pulling back there. Doesn't want to get
CSA
too
officer
aggressive.
taking the top of these rocks here. I think he's going to more or less see
Oh,
off
yeah.
these Union guys. And I have massive delay for some reason
Oh.
on my pistol shots coming
Oh,
from
what
Huncho.
kind of shots are these though? I just watched Huncho fire 3 shots at one guy.
Yeah, he did
missed them
great
all.
at first, and then shot 3 times without killing anyone. But then those last 2 shots were great. Yeah, that's the last of the Union on these rocks. The good thing for the Union here, though, and what is positive for them, is both sides are low battle ready.
Yeah, the ticket balance seems pretty good right now.
Yeah, I think Union winning that one charge has helped them out quite a lot. And they do have a position further down the hill on these rocks. And this is what we usually see on Colquitts, I would say, is a little bit of a stalemate between this set of rocks and that set of rocks to the northwest that the CSA just retook. And CSA go down first. I did not expect that, given how far down Union were at the beginning of the match.
I forget. Union has a ticket advantage on this map.
Yeah,
right?
they're the attackers. They definitely have a ticket advantage. I don't think it's a huge one on this map.
I don't know. That beginning charge at the top near there already at the CSA's already at the beginning. I feel like that would have taken a lot of tickets.
Yeah, but I do think they kind of flipped it to some extent, because in the charge in the woods, they got quite a lot of out of lines on HL and AMV.
That is true.
Union going back in. 9th Corps is holding out on the rocks just outside. Let's see if they go in as well.
We've got CSA, a mishmash pit of different units on top of these large rocks looking down onto the smaller rocks where the Union is
Oh,
at.
hello. There's obviously a fight going on there. There is a Union group pushing the top of the hill right now. It's TNA guys are pushing the top of the hill. We'll see what happens there.
Oh.
I don't think they have the
Sneaky.
manpower to do that, though. There's
Oh,
actually
no,
a
they
fair amount of
definitely don't.
CSA still up there. Not a ton,
Yeah.
but enough to stop them in their tracks, I think.
CSA is organizing themselves. So I
Yeah,
think
we
they'll
have
probably be able to repel this.
the Shenandoah rifles and some of HD are both up there, and between them they should be able to see off that TNA group, I would think. And now we're settling into what we typically see on a Colquitts map. CSA are sitting a little higher up the hill. Union has control of these big rocks on the entrance, and it's just going to be a shootout for a while now, unless Union
I'm
feels ballsy.
surprised. Wow, the Union's actually killed a good bunch of Confederates on the top of that ridge. Wow, they survived.
Yeah, they did survive. There's
Wow, I
SR
didn't
is still up
expect
there.
that.
If SR goes down and charges those guys, they'll kill the last of them, but they're
there's only
standing up
3 of
there
them,
and
but
shooting.
Still, it's a miracle they're alive.
And it's a lot of Rambos up here. You know, we've got a guy without regiment tags charging into them alone, a couple of guys alone on these rocks. You got the SR guys who are actually pulling back. I don't think they realize how few Union guys
what are they
there are.
doing? That is an interesting choice. They're going to pull behind there already. I don't know what they're going to do from there.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting one. I guess part of the thinking is there's not enough Union to really bother them. If they charge the Arty, they're going to get wiped.
That is true.
42nd
Union is
PA
charging
wiping
the
out
big
AMB.
rocks.
Yeah. 42nd PA is going around the right flank and will be able to get in almost unshot, I think.
I don't think the Union's going to be able to make this one. Those rocks are just too hard to throw people off of, and there's just too many CSA on top of it.
So we do have 42nd PA have taken up a very nice flanking position here on that HL unit, and they're going to be able to get some pretty crushing shots into them. But yeah, we're seeing exactly what we thought.
Here on the CSA's right seems to be repelling the Union charge.
Yeah, that was very handily repelled, and this is what we saw a few weeks ago. Well, actually, it was longer than that now. A couple months ago on this map, these rocks are almost impossible to push the CSA out of if they have a big force. They have a much better approach onto the rocks. The Union really only has one way to get up on the rocks, and that just funnels them into an absolute death trap.
I think the Union probably needs to change their strategy from holding these rocks to the south of the big rock the CSA is currently holding on, because not very easy to move from there to anywhere else without getting really, really hurt.
And this is where actually in the past we've seen some success with switching the angle of attack quite suddenly. You know, you keep one group on these rocks to keep them engaged, and then the rest of the team goes hard and fast up the middle, up to the top of the hill, because that's a really good way to kind of switch the point of attack without the CSA necessarily realizing that you're doing it.
Yeah, we do have 9th New York, 79th, 42nd, I think, all over here on the right of the Union. I don't know what their move's going to be next here.
And CSA is just crushing the Union on engaged here. Look at that ticket drop that the Union has had.
They have much better positioning on top of these rocks. There's a lot more of them. They can easily output more fire into a concentrated area than the Union right now, because the Union's just a bit scattered.
And as much as I like this 42nd PA flanking position, it was only really useful when the rest of the Union team were charging up the middle. Now they're firing at an enemy with better cover, and they're in a line in the open, and I think that's going to cost them a lot of tickets.
CSA is moving around the Union's right. I think Mr. First Sergeant Odinsky of 1st ANV is scouting out a little bit of
ANV. Yeah, they've been consistently taking this position, and this spells bad news for 42nd PA, because they're out in the open. They're taking fire from their front, but now they're going to be taking fire from their right as well. I think they need to find some cover here instead of standing out in the road exchanging shots.
Yeah, the plan of attack definitely needs to be modified on the Union side right now.
And Ninja is leading PA to charge ANV, and that's a mistake, because he does not have the manpower to take them out of there.
Yeah, we've got a TNA skirmishing up on the top of the ridge here with CSA near Artie.
Yeah. And you know, for the Union, to some extent, there's not too much to be scared about in terms of the ticket loss, because we've already seen them overcome one ticket drain like this. At the start of the map, they were pretty close to this far down, and they overcame it pretty rapidly. The issue is the Union is seeming very attached to this idea of fighting it out in this wood line right now, and they just don't have the positions.
Heavy ticket loss.
Yeah.
Heavy ticket loss for doing so.
Yeah, you know, it's really not a good position for them to be holding right now. They are taking a lot of tickets to do it. And the CSA is, as far as I can tell, the CSA is losing very few casualties.
Yeah, the CSA is punishing the Union for their inflexibility right now, and I don't think the Union knows what to do. And we got, we got 42nd PA coming up on ANV, and they are probably going to get killed.
Yeah, there's another charge, and I just don't think...
there's too many ANV ready to just shoot them.
42nd does get into the melee this time, so that's better than the PA charge.
I think they might have...
But most of them are dead already. Some of them do make it in. There is a little bit of a melee there. The Union do come out. The Union do come out the worst on it. But...
TNA's coming up.
Oh, yeah, nice. Very nice. They do kick him out of there, but look at that. HL coming in to countercharge. That's going to be really bad news for TNA.
Yep. That's a lot of skirmishing tickets.
Whole team's coming up now. Look at this. Whole team is coming up.
Oh, no. I feel bad for the Union right now. This is not going to...
The whole Union team is crunching in on HL, and I think the CSA are not going to make it in with their whole team, because so many of them are on those big rocks.
CSA might be able to reinforce here. They are fighting uphill, the Union.
And we're seeing Union is about to go down to taking losses, but they are having a heavy impact on the CSA tickets right now. Look how fast the CSA tickets are dropping.
Will it be worth it? I guess we'll find out.
Rest of the CSA is now coming across. Union needs to be ready for him, or else they're going to get wiped here again. Union going down to taking losses.
I think this is where the Union got it wrong. They came in piecemeal there. They didn't come in as a whole group. And now there's still CSA guys standing around waiting for
I think the bigger issue is what we see sometimes, where the whole team has charged and used their shots, and then a large backup group countercharges with shots and is just able to clean house.
Of course. Yeah.
Union there are some Unions still down on these big rocks. Looks like 79th New York, a couple of 9th New York guys, a couple of everyone really. There's 2 flags down there, so they will be able to respawn some guys down here if, and it's big if CSA doesn't come down to push them out. I think CSA should charge these guys out.
They should, but I don't think they understand how few are left down there on those rocks. I think they're trying to ascertain that now.
And also, I mean, in the meantime, this is a really good time play they have now. Like, this is going to waste a lot of Union time on the clock, and you know, the CSA did go down fairly heavily in tickets there. They're not a million miles from engaged.
Seems
Oh,
all the
taking
Union
losses
team is going right back to the woods as well. They're not skipping a beat on going back to the plan that they had.
Yeah, what I would say with that, though, is that we did see extreme effectiveness when they were able to get in the melee. So if they can be a little quicker about getting into melee, I think that's not a bad plan.
That's true, but
CSA RD landing just short of that Union group. They're firing at us across the
CSA
field.
is expecting this same tactic.
I would imagine so.
As we see, all the CSA are lined up right in the woods. They are not moving their positions.
A couple of Union guys running through point. I don't think they're stopping to cap it. No, TNA just running through it. Looks like the last of those skirmishers who were up on the hill. Union already has a fairly large group back in position again. Union just needs to be a little quicker about charging, I think.
If you spectate over the Union group on the rocks and you right-click, you can see how they're essentially surrounded by the CSA.
Yeah.
When it comes to their field of fire, as soon as they step out, they'll just get hit. It's a hard position to be in. I wonder what they're gonna do.
I think they got to do what they did before. I think they got to charge up this right side, get a quick wipe on one of the units, and then brace for charge, because they did have impact and effect on the CSA tickets, probably more than the CSA had on their tickets when they got in melee. If they get in melee, we know they have the ticket advantage in terms of how many they have. So, you know, getting into melee is the best way to exploit that. Being in these shooting matches is just going to favor the CSA.
Oh yeah, it is, especially on this downhill slope.
Yeah, and with the position Union's in now, where they're taking fire from, you know, kind of
every
180 degrees around them.
I think the CSA is trying. Oh, the CSA is flanking on the Union's left. MB is shooting at their left side.
Yeah, I see that. Those guys are out in the open. I'd expect to start seeing them drop.
Oh yeah. Seems the Union is singing songs to keep the morale up. We gotta love that. Gotta love that.
MB not taking any casualties over here. I don't know if Union knows they're here yet.
Oh no, I don't think they do. I think they're just taking too many losses. They don't exactly know where they're getting hit.
Yeah,
from.
I mean, at this point, they're taking fire from every single direction. They just need to get out of this position. I mean, look how clustered up they have to be in one spot in order to not take heavy casualties, and they're still taking heavy casualties.
Yeah, because it can't fit.
Yeah. All right, we do have, looks like 42nd PA is moving out towards the left, taking up that second group of rocks, which I don't mind. I actually think there's a decent little defilade / set of rocks here that you can use, and PA is going with them, so they might push. Yeah, they've pushed MB off that position now, and they're going onto the far left rocks.
Who is this moving around the Union's right? I think it might be 6 LA might be kind of pushing up here on the Union's right.
Yeah, and we got McPhail as well from 5th NC. And we got Corded, a usual Battle Line network commentator.
Oh, it looks like the whole Union line is moving to the west.
Yeah, here we go, another charge.
Yep.
Charge at those rocks, though, is really, really tough. We'll see how that goes.
It seems like they might be coming from two angles. We have the USA on the rocks that MB was
and the CSA countercharging immediately. The Union just getting slaughtered.
Yeah. Oh. On the right side, the Union is not feeling good.
The Union is getting massacred here. That was a brutal charge for them.
Oh,
and look,
they're trapped now. It's over.
Yeah, they're surrounded here, and the CSA now, I think, needs to do what we suggested earlier: go down to those rocks and clear the flags. Make them take as long as possible to come back, clean up those last out of line tickets. Still some Union up, but they are getting wiped here. And look at that ticket drop. They went through 3/4 of a morale state in that charge. Just taking a little look. They are outnumbered by 8 guys, which, you know, on a basically full server, really isn't that much. You know, it's 7-8 guys difference.
I don't think that's that big of an advantage for the CSA. I think the CSA has had a lot better positioning this game. As you can see, they just coiled around the Union there.
And again, there's 7 more CSA RD than there are Union RD, which implies to me that in these melees there should be even numbers, but the CSA is just very effectively countering everything the Union do.
it's the uphill slope, and combined, if they go out in the open and try and charge up to the Arty, they'll just get smoked by the Arty. So
Yeah.
there's not many options for the USA here. I wonder what they're going
Oh,
to do.
what a shot by CSA Arty all the way across the field. Get a hit on the rocks in the middle of the spawn. That was a long-range shot. I don't know how many kills it got. I did see some red mist. I see 1, 2, 3 bodies maybe.
Arty might be getting a little greedy, given that all the USA guys are going in the forest.
Yeah, Arty's just begging for something to hit right now. But actually, I'm seeing some Union moving up the right. They might be thinking that at this point, surely all the CSA infantry is engaged in the woods, and TNA looks like they're trying to flank around. They may actually, for once, be able to take those cannons. But I think they're making a slight mistake here in how far onto the road they are. They should be going through the woods, so they're harder to spot.
They're very, very split right now. There's a whole nother regiment coming from Maine going up the road now, but the rest of the USA team, aside from TNA and that regiment, have clustered back on the same rocks they were at, and now are once
Look
again,
at that, CSA immediately pulling back 1, maybe 2 regiments to deal with this hill.
Yep, and then the rest of them just sit there in a giant line, and
but I don't hate it, because I think there's a good way to juke out the CSA here by kind of making like you're going to charge the top of that hill and then cutting down and taking the road. I think the road position can be very powerful.
See, this seems like the only time the Union could definitely make a push into the right of the woods here, but the problem is
they're going to get countered from their left.
The CSA is moving to their left because, well, half the Union team is over on the right. So I don't think they could really make the penetration they need.
Yeah, still got Midwest Brigade, IVB, a few others in the woods still. It looked like 42nd, I think, and TNA going up on the house. Yeah, we can see TNA's on the house. 42nd PA. Oh, another
CSA
hit.
is most assuredly not oblivious of the Union's actions. Oh, that's
yeah,
another one. It didn't hit as well, but wow,
Arty is pre-aimed on this spot. And the thing is, CSA Arty not quite hitting it right now, but the CSA Arty can hit on either side of the house and explode right behind the house where the Union are clustering.
Yep.
And they are moving off the house a little bit, but it's a very small adjustment for those CSA guys.
Oh, we have a large amount of CSA guys coming out of the forest, though. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're pulling back to the top of the hill. I think they're prepping for the Union to go up that way. So the Union's not going to have any luck there. All of the CSA is pulling out, except for maybe 1 unit on those rocks. It might finally be possible for the Union to take those rocks.
Yeah, the Union might be able to break through at this
moment.
And
this is kind of what I was talking about. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with keeping a group down here in the woods and then moving the rest around the right, because it's going to bait the CSA to go one way or the other and allow you to win the other engagement.
Yep, I definitely think the Union could take these rocks in the woods now.
Union is still trying to charge the hill here, though. Union's trying to charge the hill, and they're going to run into a big
keep
line.
them occupied as opposed to going for a quick, decisive action.
See, but what I was thinking, and what I would have done here, I think, is cut it back to the left as the CSA come up to the hill, because even if they spot it immediately, it's hard to turn around. Yeah, another big Arty hit.
Oh,
that one bounced. Didn't really get any kills from what I saw. It bounced
got some
right in front of him. Yeah, which in a charge like this is equally as effective because it spreads the charge out.
Yep. And we got a CSA regiment coming from the southwest on the Union's left here.
Union is not moving in the woods. They need to be moving right now. The CSA has pulled out. They got to take the position. Union is going to get wiped up here, and they have to make sure they secure
the Union has to pull up to the top of the wood line there to get a foothold so the rest of the team can come up to them.
And I'm not sure that they are.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think the woods are necessarily communicating with the ridge.
And I'm hoping these Union guys realize that they are capturing the point here, because they are capturing on the road.
Oh, I don't think they realize that.
They're still capturing. They're going to cap the point by mistake.
They're sitting there and more people are moving towards it.
And Ninja and his guys, I think, are going to cap the point here unless they move now.
I don't know if they realize.
They're going back now. They're going back now. I think they're going to make it out in time. Yep,
oh,
they make it out
they
just
did.
in time.
They did, just barely.
As long as more Union guys don't run across the point in formation.
Oh, here comes the Union up in the wood lines. They're going their normal pincer movement. I don't know what they're pincering.
There's no one
no
there.
CSA there. But
and the issue they're going to have now, they have half the team, and they've halved that half. They now only have a quarter in each spot, and the CSA is just going to run straight through.
The CSA is already moving back into the woods now. They're all
Although Union, actually, I do like this because Union, I think, will win this first charge. I think they'll kill this first group coming down, and that might take CSA down to breaking, in which case we've got a pretty even game at that point.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of Union actually coming through here on the left.
Yeah, I think the Union might win this charge.
They might be able to make a foothold here. They got to hope, though, that this rest of the CSA team does not push in, or else
if they do push in, I think it will take the CSA down to breaking or pretty close, potentially, which, Union is pre-capping point. They aren't anymore because CSA is coming right through it right now, but...
I don't know. The CSA actually might put themselves in a bit of a pickle here if they go that route, because they're going to end up between the reinforcements and the original
Yeah, but
charge.
Look at this huge charge coming down the hill into the Union.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know if they'll charge, but they're certainly going to shoot them up. And we have a big engagement, and you can see the effect this is having on the USA tickets, or the CSA tickets even. CSA dropping significantly. If the Union could just stay in the fight here, they might get CSA to breaking in this one engagement. But USA is almost wiped up there.
Yeah, it seems like it's just skirmishers left for the
So
USA
I think
here.
the Union now needs to charge right away. They can't stabilize the position at the bottom of the wood line. They've got to capitalize on the foothold they have and get the CSA down to breaking as soon as possible. And hope you can just push straight through. And what we're going to see here, almost certainly, is the typical Colquitt's thing of USA having the CSA in breaking, starting to try and cap point, and the CSA setting up right along this road line on the low stone wall on the fence, because you can cap from there, and just blasting the shit out of CSA. Fair amount of Union going right again, and they will get a flank on the CSA because the CSA are back in the woods.
The entire CSA team is on their own right side.
Yeah, but they are taking heavy artillery fire.
Oh, it looks like the CSA is already shimmying over to...
I think they're just going to shift on point at this point. I think they're going to stand on the road above point and hold that road down, because that is the key point of this map. If the Union can knock them off the road, the Union will win.
Oh, was that a Union already shot? Wow.
I didn't see where it hit.
It did a number on the CSA.
Oh yeah, I see the smoke. There. I see the smoke. Yeah. CSA is coming down this way. This is going to take them to breaking. I would imagine if they get engaged here. I think they're going to stop. Nope. They're carrying on. They're going straight at Union. I don't know if the Union knows yet. Now they do. TNA and IVB prepping to receive that. Actually, the CSA turning around.
Spread out right now.
Look at this, actually. CSA has gathered up on the fence on the road line. I don't think they realize Union is on their right, shooting into their flank. And look at this. More Union guys going up to the top of the hill. We have PA Ninjas guys going up to the top of the hill. They may try and get a sneaky kill on Artie here. And that's going to get them a ton of out-of-line and skirmishing tickets, which is going to really help them out. And CSA, for the first time, looking a touch disorganized. I'm seeing a lot of guys running different directions right now.
Indeed. Granted, we also have a lot of guys in the Union spawn still spread out here.
Ninja's guys make it up there, but Artie is actually just charging into them, which loses him out of lines. And now they're just going to shoot into Artie, I think. I don't think they're going to charge it. CSA is now pushing slightly further left, I think. I think they're going to push that Union group off.
They're pushing left around the Union, but the Union seems to be aware of it. They're moving towards...
Union charging down the road here. Union is moving down the road. I think they're going to try and force an engagement here to bring the CSA down to breaking and try and make a swift move onto point.
It's not going to end well for these Union units on the west here who are trapped against the border of the map.
There goes CSA breaking, and Union already moving on to point, the 79th New York guys. But this is a mistake. I think they should have kept going with that charge onto the road, because CSA controlling the road is really bad for them. Look at this Union charge, though. Look at this Union charge in the woods.
Union has gone up the road. Now we also have on the
CSA Union has absolutely brutalized them.
Unit though on the far right of the woods.
Yeah, but look at this unit in the edge of the woods. They've pushed that CSA unit all the way out, and I think they're going to get control of the road here, which, as we talked about, is the key point here.
It's true. Let's see if they'll be able to hold the second charge from the CSA coming on their left side.
Yeah, they're down halfway through breaking. If they go final push here,
They
they're going to
might
have
be
a tough
able
time.
to, given that the CSA has split their forces. I don't think
CSA
they're
is
charging
coming
directly
behind.
in.
CSA is coming behind them though. Union has got to charge this group and get them out of there quickly.
Union has a good number advantage right now though.
Union,
the CSA seems to be pulling back from the woods for some reason, even though they could easily charge them out if they had their full numbers.
And this is something that frustrates me here. Union is sitting in the open field on Colquitts with a big group of their own guys charging the road. If they move up to the road, they could take it, and holding the road is far better than this field. They will get absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, it looks
in the
like
field if
CSA is coming down the road to push them off. Oh, there's
Oh,
Artie, and I don't know.
that was a massive team kill, I think.
Did they? Yeah, did that hit CSA or?
Yeah,
Union?
that was almost all CSA.
Wow.
But Union is going to go final push any second, and I don't know if they'll get CSA to last stand here, or if they do, I don't think they've got enough time to push them all the way out, because CSA now is going to have the cover of the road. They're going to have Artie pouring down. The Union is just going to get massacred on point.
Yeah, the CSA can easily push down into the forest now too and surround the Union, and that's another Artie shot taking away Union guys from the point.
Yeah, and we're seeing this again. Union, I think, often believe that you can only capture where the point marker is out in that open field. But in actual fact, the CSA is always capturing from this road, and they are just going to slaughter you if they have the cover of the road and you're just standing in an open field taking shots.
It's less of a point and more of a sloppy drawn line around an area.
But look at this CSA line. Another Artie hit there. I don't know if that was team kill or not.
No, the USA Artie is definitely trying to make a difference here, but I don't think they'll be able to this late in the game.
I'm surprised we haven't had one or two CSA guns counter battering, because there's only two USA guns. If they flip them, there's no USA Artie.
I am also surprised that the CSA Artie has not fired onto the USA Artie. They are mainly just focusing on the point.
And what the USA Artie can do here, I think they're aiming for the wrong target, actually. They're aiming for the low stone wall. I think they should be knocking down the fence.
There seems to be a Union group going back into the woods here on their left as well.
Yeah, they're going to try and get a flank. I personally would usually try and flank around the right side, but obviously they've taken so many big Artie hits over there. I think they might be a little scared of doing that at this point. Big Artie hit from Union there. Union Artie is having an impact.
Definitely is, but I don't know if it can do enough this late in the game.
Yeah, I think it's too little, too late, unfortunately. The Union about to hit last stand, and if the CSA push into those woods now, they'll final push even. If the CSA push into those woods now, they'll drop the Union and morale state for sure.
The CSA just seems like they're really too dug in right now to be pushed out by this Union charge. Maybe not a charge yet, but this Union group on the left, it seems like most of their team is assembling.
Union is splitting up. They're going to try a pincer move from both flanks. The thing with that is you have to be incredibly good on the timing, because if you are not, one group is going to get wiped and then the other group's going to get wiped.
Indeed. I wonder if the CSA is going to realize what's happening before it's too late.
I mean, I don't know about too late. I mean, I think the CSA will hold this either way, and I don't think they'll go last stand from it unless the Union does very well on the charge. And the Union will go final push immediately, and at that point you're in a kind of bayonets and go situation.
Oh yeah.
7 minutes. Union Artie still landing big hits on the road.
There's too big of a block on the CSA's right.
There's final push
to allow that Union group to get through on that side. But I think if the Union presses hard enough, they can move it in on their right.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Union is going right into the charge. They're very spread out though on that right side. They need to regroup if they want to have an impact here.
Oh, and here comes, they're both going at the same time, so that's good.
Yeah, the Union left flank is going to be too late though. They're going to arrive significantly after the Union right.
Yeah, also the left flank is a lot bigger than the right charge here.
Let's see, and not all of the Union on the right side are going. Some of them are trying to regroup. 9th Corps has regrouped on the house. Some
are going straight into point as opposed to the charge in an attempt to cap, I think.
Another Artie hit there as Union go in. 9th Corps stopped to regroup there, unfortunately, and that left their allies who did charge a little bit alone.
I don't know. The CSA is a little bit in trouble though. If these people on the USA on the left can hang out.
Yeah, I think they're outnumbered. I think the CSA has them outnumbered there though, and Union is again spread out.
The positioning for the Union here on the left might allow for some shooting that will knock down the Confederacy, but now that the CSA is pushing, let's see how this fight goes.
I think the thing is, even if they do go to last stand, I don't think the Union has time to capitalize on it, because you know that the CSA will get that big wave of instant respawns that will come straight back, and the Union has 2.5 minutes left. Yeah, the Union's getting wiped in this charge. They're not winning that.
Yeah, the Union's getting wiped. On the right side here, let's see how it goes for them.
They're a little more successful over here, but they're still not sending everyone. Some guys are
They're
still
also
back
getting
behind
charged
the house.
from the north here.
CSA is going to go last stand here any second
shot.
now, but that Artie has just... it hasn't got a lot of kills there on that volley, but it knocked down a whole lot of Union guys, and that was just as effective. There goes last stand. Union has to be in combat here. Union can't make the mistake of just sitting on point and hoping it caps. They got to get into combat and get kills on the CSA in the hopes of outnumbering them.
Yeah, they're going to have to wipe the CSA quickly.
And look at that huge wave of CSA reinforcements coming straight back in. They're getting nothing and go running back down here to make sure they've got all their bodies. But look at this. Union is going straight to point, and this is a mistake. They're going to sit in that open field and get slaughtered. Cut up. Yeah.
I think it's all too common for commanders to see the last stand and they instantly go, oh, we need a cap, but it's not always the best solution.
Yeah, CSA is going to have the entire team overlooking the point as well as Artie. I just don't see that going well for Union right now.
On top of that, CSA is still on the point by being close to that snake rail.
Union Artie is continuing to land really good shots here. Look at this, yeah, Union all going out into the field, and it's not going to work. The CSA is on the road, which is also capturing with perfect shots. So even if the Union does start capping it, they're going to lose the guys too quickly, and they're going to end up losing it.
That is true. Hopefully the USA Artie can assist the infantry a lot more.
Yeah, if the Artie can get a hit right on the corner where they're clumped up.
Yep, there's a lot of CSA clumped up there. Hopefully...
Union charging from the right, a few of them trying to redirect the fire away from the main guys on point at least, but it's too little too late here, I think. Yeah, I just don't think this is going to do it.
Yeah, they need to get these
seconds.
guys off the CSA guys off the corner here, or else they're never going to be able to make a dent in the cap.
That Union Artie landed long.
Oh.
They are capping, but look, the CSA had a bunch of guys not on point. And the CSA had a bunch of guys in the woods who were not capping, and now they're moving into it.
Now they're pushing in. They're going to clean up the...
Yep, there we go. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and that's it. Yep, very nice job from the CSA.
Yep.
So yeah, as we saw there, very, very good job from the CSA. I thought that was a very coordinated effort from the CSA. They did a nice job responding to every Union move. And I think the Union were a little slow when they needed to go fast and a little too fast when they needed to slow down a little bit. So they ended up either getting in strung out charges or just not charging, waiting for their whole team and getting cut up.
Yeah, I think they weren't too flexible on their planning either. I think they thought about that opening ploy. They thought they had it good and didn't work out the way they'd hoped, and they didn't know what to do afterwards.
Yeah, and you can see on those casualties, the Union just got slaughtered in that first push. They had more than double the casualties of the CSA, and I think those casualties are just going to keep ticking up.
Yep.
So that is the first map. We will be back shortly for, I believe it's Washington Street, second map, and we'll look forward to being with you then. See you shortly. And we are back for map 2. We are on Washington Street, which is a very interesting map. I feel like we very rarely see it in regimental play. And typically in past times, the meta was always to hold in the big house for Union and kind of just make a massive stand in there. In this house here that I'm looking at now, but we'll see if they do that these days. You know, it hasn't really been played seriously competitively for a while. Obviously there was the BLM Wednesday event last week where we played it in the dark, but I can't exactly say that was a serious match given that we had units playing duck duck goose, getting lost in the house and T-posing the entire night.
Yeah, you definitely don't see this played often.
Yeah, Carter, any thoughts?
I would say that I have no idea what either side will be doing. I wonder if we're going to have a new strategy given the fact that this map is never played. People might kind of treat it a bit differently.
Yeah, the last time that I really that I've really seen this map be played, there was a lot of fighting going over on this north side of town, with kind of flank and counter flank going on over there, and obviously the Union spawns over there. And there can often be a lot of fighting also on this left side, on the south side, as the CSA comes up. It does look like a large group of CSA immediately moving off right towards the north side, and a lot of Union there to meet them. So I do think we're going to see that fighting early on.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a kind of a two-front map with, you know, the right and the left side being a little bit separate.
Yeah.
And maybe occasionally someone going up the middle to try something.
Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely think that both teams are going to be split for most of this match.
And interestingly enough, I have a visual bug where one of the 6th LA officers on the CSA has a USA flag over him.
That makes sense, of course.
So here's the thing, though. The CSA has sent a far larger force left than the Union has holding there. So the Union, I think, needs to get out of there.
Well, the Union here on their own left has actually sent a small group around the CSA, but I don't know if it'll be enough manpower to actually break through.
That's a pretty classic move. I wouldn't expect to see them charge, but I think they are going to end up in a charge. It is actually the 9th Corps guys stopping on the fence, shooting into them. I think if they get supported, they'll do well, but if they're just in a charge alone, I don't think it's going to go well.
Far too late now.
Yeah, they're going to get wiped in there. I think a little bit of a mistake. They needed the support of this other unit. They needed the support of PA and 79th New York back here. I think if they had that, they would have got it. And now PA is going in, and that's just too late. I think that's going to result in a wipe.
PA is going to get wiped too if they decide to go in here.
Look at this CSA flank. They're moving all the way up the defilade on the south. CSA moving all the way through the south defilade, and they're going to have a big fight.
4 guys here. I don't know why they did that.
IVB now moving in. IVB, I think, actually does have the manpower to clear up that flank. But throwing away some tickets in that.
There were some odd lines and skirmishing tickets in that definitely should not have been there.
Let's see if MVP gets killed before he can use his pistol. Good shot by Smokey there. Nate is getting to use his pistol on the CSA side.
I think USA will win this charge here.
Yeah, I think so as well, but it's going to be pretty equal. Here's the thing. Meanwhile, on the south side of the map, CSA's made a massive flanking move, and they're attacking in 2 places on this southern side. And I think they're clearing up the middle force of the Union right now, but they're running into a much larger force on the far right. It looks like some 9th Corps guys, 42nd PA holding in this corner of the fences, putting a pretty good stop to the 6th LA and ANV push. But in the center here, HD and HL pushing straight through the Union in the middle. And Union has got to be careful here, or else they're just going to start finding themselves getting overrun pretty quickly. They're getting very spaced out early.
Yeah, the CSA's left is very, very strong right now. I don't know if the Union actually realizes how much of the CSA's team is over there.
And the Union certainly has a good force in this corner of the fence lines here that will do a good job holding, but they need to be sending more men that way, and they're not right now. They're sending them all off to the northeast, which is just the wrong end of town. And look at this, the Union guys are going to get flanked here on their right and their left. They're taking shots from 2 directions here. I don't know that they know there is a big CSA group coming down the road on their left who are going to get flanking on them on this snake fence opposite them. I think this is going to be really bad for that USA group in the corner here.
Oh yeah, that seems like that CSA group going up in the middle there is definitely going to cause some havoc on the USA lines.
Yeah, but I don't think Union can abandon the east end of town yet, because we can see another CSA group, probably the one that was wiped earlier, is coming back that way. But look at this group in the middle here. Exin from HD Jin, I don't know how he would want his name being said, but he is leading his HD guys right around the Union flank, and they're going to be shooting into the rear of those who are on the snake fence. And that's going to look really bad for the Union, I think.
It is. I think we're kind of in a situation where the Union is stuck reacting to all the CSA's plays.
Yeah, but look at this IVB push. They're going to get in behind the CSA in return, and I think they're going to wipe the CSA who went into that fence line to shoot into the backs of the USA.
That is true. The CSA might have overextended themselves just a little, but now we have a very large CSA contingent on the east side of town who's going to fight these guys over here in the tent area.
Yeah, who do we have? Maybe Ninth
What
Corps
is
going
this?
back over
This
that
is
way again.
Ninth Corps and against MB.
And they get charged on the left. A couple Rambos charging their left. And that's just causing havoc on them. The 5th NC guys get round the rear, and they're gonna wipe out the Union here. They get volleyed and then quickly charged in the back, and that's gonna see them off.
It looks like the CSA won on the east side of town, but the Union seems to have held the center.
Yeah, the Union stabilized their center, and I think that's the most important thing. I think the big thing, I think they need to stop sending men up that left side, up the northeast to east, and sit back a little bit. There's actually some really good defilade cover where these 4 guys are right now, where the remaining 9th Corps guys are. This is actually quite good cover. They have a little defilade, they have some rocks. They can hold there and shoot it out with the CSA, and let the rest of the team just hold the right side.
Yeah, I think the CSA is now figuring out that those tents are not bulletproof.
Yeah.
Given that they just pulled back behind that little house.
Yeah, the Union has done a nice job.
Now we got
here.
a CSA contingent going around all the way to the Union's right and shooting at them.
Yeah.
Almost in the back.
.42nd PA is certainly losing some casualties up on this front fence line. They're taking the brunt of this here. But I think it's actually allowing... I think the Union got very behind early on tickets, but I think this is now allowing them to come back a little bit because their force is being able to deal with threats while not being shot at so much, while the 42nd takes the brunt of it.
Indeed.
And actually, you know, I'm a little confused right now because I feel like the CSA is a little light on this far side, on this west side of town, but I don't feel like there's that many of them on the east side either.
Oh, the Union is gonna, I think, might be able to come in and hit them.
Oh
on
yeah,
the side
yeah.
here, near the center. But it kind of depends how brave the Union is and how quick they are to do it because they're already moving and there's reinforcements coming from the CSA side.
Yeah.
Why is there a CSA guy with a... Oh, never mind. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. There he goes. Down he goes. That's a Rambo for the CSA. Yeah, the Union, I don't think are going to get too brave in the center here. I don't think they need to. I think they're just holding it up and stopping CSA from flanking the 42nd.
Jeez, you got some Union and CSA Union guys on their far left and some CSA guys on the far right. They're almost down into the slope.
Yeah. This slope can be very effective. And actually, I typically see the Union win this fight because they have a little group of rocks here. That really helps them out. The CSA does also have rocks, but I think the Union is slightly higher up on the rise, and they tend to get better shots off.
Yeah, it seems like we've got two kind of a Union line here on the snake rail, and then we got a bit of a CSA line in the tents, kind of just duking it out right now. I wonder how one side is going to kind of get into the other because there's a lot of open space between the two, really.
And I think IVB is doing a smart thing, sitting back a little further. I think this is what the Union should be doing in general. I actually think 9th Corps should pull back to this fence line where the IVB is and just force the CSA to come out of their shell a little bit because the Union has very good fence lines on this west side of town to defend.
That's true, and you can easily shoot through all these tents that the CSA seems to be hiding behind. They're not bulletproof at all.
Yeah. Union does go down to engage first, but not by much. The CSA is pretty low on battle ready as well, which is, you know, the Union is coming back on tickets steadily.
The Union better move, though, so they don't cap.
Well, they're the defenders, don't forget.
That is true.
So
they
already
last map they were attackers, my bad.
IVB now moving back up on this east side again, and they're going to just blast into the CSA group. And it looks like a small CSA group charged the 9th Corps and got wiped. So
but there's a bit of a small pincer here going on the northeast side of town. The CSA is in the middle of the road, and we've got...
and the IVB has better cover here on the snake fence.
Union guys on the snake rail.
Yeah, this is a nice move between 9th Corps and IVB, and obviously...
Hopefully, the Union can capitalize.
Yeah, and the two groups obviously play together a lot, and you can see that right now. The CSA is going to try and charge 9th Corps to get out of this predicament from the looks of it.
Only about half their guys seem to be charging, though, so I don't
More
think
of them
that
going
was very
now.
effective.
IVB
It's
should
more
go in
piecemeal.
now to support. We don't want to see one group get wiped again.
IVB seems to be on the edge.
9th Corps getting charged. I don't think they're going to hold. I don't think they have the numbers here.
I think they will be able to
in.
hold, actually. The CSA is not committing all their force here.
This is going to give IVB a really good chance to wipe out the last of these guys if they want to take it. I think there's a flag up here that if they put down and they can get a pincer round on this flag, that really slows down the CSA.
Yeah, IVB really just needs to take this opportunity. I don't know if they maybe don't know how small the CSA force behind this house is.
I mean, they are shooting them down, certainly.
It is true, but I mean, you know, 9th Corps is taking heavy losses over here on the left.
Yeah, and on the other side of town, still very much the same thing. We've got that stalemate of just shooting back and forth between the tents and the snake fence. We got some smaller engagements happening in the center here. But most of it right now is happening on the far extremes of the map. And look at that, the CSA almost entirely wiped now on this
yeah, both
east
sides
side.
are definitely going to need to get creative here to break the other. I don't see a lot of opportunities for people to move in between the houses to actually capitalize on any opportunities because the field of fire just seems so wide here with the amount of people that are in the game right now.
And CSA is coming back into the east side, which I don't think is the best move for them actually, because they know they're facing two groups now, and combined at least they're bigger than that CSA group. I think 9th Corps is smaller than it. IVB is probably about the same size, but when they're fighting together, that easily outnumbers the CSA group who are coming back on this east side
definitely.
again.
I really wonder what the CSA's plan here is on the south side near the tents. As I said earlier, the tents aren't bulletproof, so I mean, if they can get enough fire volume onto those tents, they can definitely drop all those CSA through the tents without even needing to see them.
Yeah, although, you know, I gotta say on the flip side though, the CSA maybe is looking at this as like, do they need to change anything? Because it's 30 minutes, they've got the Union halfway through engaged. They're you know, they've got the time to shoot this out with them for a while. You know, if we stay on this pace, they'll have them down to breaking and last stand well within the time limit.
Yeah, I think you're right. And now we have a USA team here in the back. I think some of them are moving to the south and some to the...
Oh, big charge here. IVB and 9th Corps charge the CSA on this east side. Looks like they're going to get the clear on them. Yeah, they're going to clear them out there.
Let's see if the USA can maintain a foothold on this side of the map. And,
well, I think unless the CSA moves a unit over this way, they're not going to get that back with the unit that they've had going this way because they know they're outnumbered here. And what this does for the Union is it puts them in position where they can move into a position to shoot the CSA spawn, which is helpful.
That is true. How deep can the Union get from these tents over here on the east side into near
They can
CSA
get
spawn?
pretty far up onto those roads. They can't get into the CSA spawn, obviously, but I believe they have a line of sight from here on this on the CSA spawn. I mean, where Marksman is right now may be out of line potentially, but there's a viewpoint on the CSA spawn right now.
I mean,
I can see him from where he is.
Keeping a contingent there, you know, during the final moments of the game when everyone's rushing to point might really help the Union because they'll be able to cap a lot of guys on their way from spawn to the point when CSA is rushing.
And CSA is coming back down this way again, and that's going to give 9th Corps a chance to shoot them up a little bit. But I think if they're smart here, what 9th Corps would do would be shoot them up a little bit and then pull back and let IVB get their shots.
Coming here on the right, on the Union's right, CSA is actually mobbing on them. They're way
42nd
is
losing
for the
that.
USA to hold here. Yep.
And I think unfortunately the Union deployed quite a lot of their forces to the east and therefore kind of lost the momentum on the west. And I was waiting for the CSA to do something.
I think there's been a bit of a flip here as far as the teams go. As you know, the CSA obviously committed to their left, and the Union obviously committed to their left. So. I think now we've essentially just kind of moved the lines.
CSA now has an even better position. CSA can get very good shots onto Union spawn from here. It's very easy to spawn trap the Union, and that's certainly better than the Union shots into the CSA spawn are. So. Union needs to respond to this in some way. They need to do some serious thinking here about how to play this. Maybe they just pull back behind the houses and force the CSA to come out again. But right now, if they stay in these positions, they're going to have a tough time. And you can see the map is really split by this one big road. And I feel like what the Union needs to do is get on the other side of the road at this point.
I think what we're kind of running into is, you know, since this map is played so little, there's not a lot of,
Look at
I'd say
IVB in the middle.
experience
Look at
knowledge
IVB.
here. Yep, IVB is going up the center, but they might get crushed by two sides of the CSA.
No,
from
this
the
group from
north
in
and the
spawn
south.
hasn't even seen them yet. They're not even looking at them. They're still looking towards the Union force on the east,
Wow,
the
that
Ninth
is-
Corps guys. So IVB is going to
wow.
get into the back of these guys. I don't know
These
how much
guys
it's going
didn't
to do
even
for them.
notice before they all got killed.
Yeah, none of
Holy
them have
crap.
seen yet. The CSA as a whole has not noticed them,
This
and
is
they're going to get a lot of
oblivious
kills here.
behavior.
And look at this. The CSA is going to respond to this as the rest of the Union comes in, so we'll see how this goes. IVB is
Wow.
definitely going to get wiped there.
The CSA might be in trouble here, though, because there's enough guys to definitely push them off this little area.
Ninth Corps getting another little push put on them. They're getting flanked slightly, but they've got more than enough men to hold that. It looks like the CSA guys were just recovering the flag. This is where the big fight is, and now Union has gotten round the flank and is putting fire down that road from a fence line, and that is a really solid position they've got there. But the issue is here, they're at 27 minutes, 28 minutes, and they're taking losses already. They are going down in tickets too quickly here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the CSA is definitely, overall, this game made some slightly better plays just when it comes to, I guess, tactical advantage. I know.
And
the
I
USA
am
took
wondering,
their-
I think the CSA on the whole, from the looks of it, has maybe slightly larger units than the Union does. And,
Oh yeah,
and
there
I
is
think
a bit
that's
of a
helping
number
them out.
difference here.
And so I think
but
that's just
like-
allowing the CSA to move as groups more, where the Union is getting a little more spread. But the Union's making a nice response here. They are coming back on tickets. They've got a good flanking sort of enfilade fire on
See,
the
I think that's
CSA.
the thing is that, you know, at the beginning here, when we just watched the CSA take the entire left side of the map and the Union take the entire left side, or their left side of the map, what we've just resulted in is essentially the CSA has slightly better positioning just because of the way the map's laid out.
Look at that Union
so
group,
now-
though, flanking round them even further. They're going to be
Oh,
shooting into the
wow.
backs of the CSA now. This has got to be
I
bad
am
news for the
surprised
CSA.
at the CSA's, I guess, lack of scouting or observation maybe here, because that's happened just twice in the past 2 minutes. 3
Yeah,
minutes
and
now.
the Union gets some decent shots on them. I didn't see too many guys go down. I think they rushed that a little bit. Because the CSA now, what the CSA is going to do is very smart here. They're going to pull back into the tents and sort of counterflank the Union. And so the Union is going to lose the benefit of shooting down the road into
Yeah,
the CSA here.
definitely has more room to move here.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at this. Now, I think what the CSA will do, if they're smart now, I think is charge down this line of tents to take that Union group out again. And look at that east side of the map in the meantime. I think 9th Corps is getting charged again. Bring them down to taking losses. Actually, that's a really bad charge for the CSA. They're getting shot from IVB on one side, 9th Corps on the other side, and I think they're going to get wiped in that. Hardly any of them are even making it to the line.
I think the CSA went a little too far here on their left side in the tents, because now they're kind of just sitting there. They're not moving onto the USA. There's a small contingent moving up onto the USA on their right, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, and
think it's gonna be
on
too
the
late.
east side, 9th Corps now flanking round. I think they're going to wipe the last of these CSA guys. Although they're standing in that alley, and the CSA just ran into them and killed like 3 or 4 of them just by shooting into the alley and charging into the alley.
Well, the CSA is forming a line on the end of these tents near the USA here. They might actually volley into them really hard. Oh, not many shots hit, seems like.
This one guy, Sergeant Ghoul of the MB, just killed like 3-4 guys in melee there on the 9th Corps, but the 9th Corps does clear out the last of those
Yeah.
last of
HL
those
is
CSA.
HL is pulling back on the tents. They didn't even charge the USA here on the right.
Wow, this Sergeant Bush guy just lived a very lucky life, ran all the way up, made it out, and then got shot once he was further away from the group rather than getting shot when he was right up in their face. I'm surprised that TNA here is not getting back on these fence lines that 42nd held earlier. Because I think that corner fence line is actually very potent. And right now they're in the open and they are getting flanked again. HL's making that same move again. It looks like TNA's pulling out now.
Oh, it looks like CSA is looping around the fences, or not the fences, the tents. Let's
Yep.
see what they do. Let's see if they charge or they just volley like last time.
It looks
they
like
might
most of the
be
Union pulled
better
out there.
off. Yeah, they might be better off just to volley those rocks and pull back, as otherwise they're just going to run into this snake rail and get hurt.
The Union's done a nice job resetting themselves here. They're down on tickets
definitely.
though, and it is a tough one because the CSA run to point is not particularly long. Neither side's run to point is particularly long.
I still think it's anyone's game right now, as the CSA force is kind of splitting into 3 different groups here around the tents. One on the right, one on the left, one in the center.
Yeah.
That's its own little mini battlefield. I wonder how that's going to go, given that the Union is completely entrenched on the snake fence. I don't know how hard it's going to be to
MB and 5th NC just keep slamming into 9th Corps and IVB and vice versa. Those two are just butting heads together constantly on this east side. Seems like those guys have been assigned to deal with each other tonight, and they're certainly doing that. But the issue here is, like I said earlier, IVB and 9th Corps combined outnumber the MB and 5th NC for sure. The problem is that as a result, they're outnumbered on the right. They're outnumbered on the west side, the Union that is, by the CSA forces who remain, and I think that's what's giving them issues on this west.
I think the number balance has actually come a bit closer though than it was at the start of this match. It was about a 13 difference. Now it's about a 6-man difference.
Yeah, it's pretty marginal. There are actually 3 guys on artillery. I haven't seen a single shot be fired yet.
Yeah, I haven't even heard artillery be fired yet.
Yeah, they're up on that hill. I'm actually gonna zoom over there real quick, see if I can make it over there without deserting first, but we'll see. I don't know if they even have fired the guns once this game. I haven't heard any, certainly.
I don't know, but the CSA has definitely stolen all the Union's hard tech, as the Union has not at all pushed into these tents. I don't think they want to.
There are 3 guys up here. They have moved 1 cannon into position to fire.
Oh, there is actually a group of TNA here on the corner. To
the cannon shot. I have no idea where it hit. Did you see it?
I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
I
mean
think I heard something there.
That's a near impossible shot. I mean, they're shooting like half a mile through trees and buildings to try and hit the Union.
I think that might have landed actually past where the border of the map ends, because I didn't even see anything, nor I heard something really, really far away.
I think the Union needs to be a little bit careful here. They're starting to get pincered a little bit again on this west side, and they are outnumbered there. IVB looks like they're moving back to the center, but that in turn leaves 9th Corps a little bit isolated, and we know that 9th Corps are a touch outnumbered by the MB and 5th NC combined. So
we're definitely starting to see the difference in how much each team can output their fire, because the CSA on the tents has been taking less losses than the Union on the snake rail. It just seems like the CSA is out shooting them, not by accuracy, but solely by volume of fire.
And now we've got this flanking maneuver.
Union regiment is moving around. That's TNA. Let's see what they can do to the CSA over here in these tents.
Yeah, but look at the other side of it. HD is doing the exact opposite move on the other side and flanking the Union on the snake fence.
This is truly a mirror.
Here goes the charge. Here goes the charge. They're charging the snake fences again. I think Union is better set up this time. I think they should hold this as long as that TNA force collapses in.
TNA has lost some guys on the far west.
Ooh, and for once there, the CSA getting a little strung out and not quite coordinating that charge well. That first push got dead wiped, and the second group did not come in.
The CSA has come up to the snake rail here now, and they're fighting. I don't know.
Yeah, Union goes
they
breaking.
Definitely will not.
Oh, look at this! Look at this IVB group. They're in behind HD, and they're gonna wipe HD here for sure. They have far more guys than them.
Absolutely, they're gonna shoot them right in the back here.
HD tried to run out of there, but too late. They're getting wiped there.
That did not work in favor of the CSA.
But look at this, CSA on point already. CSA, the guys on the right, looks like they charged 9th Corps again, and as we said, 9th Corps did not have the manpower, and they've been wiped, and look at that, MB and 5th NC are on the point with 2nd MS.
Let's see the USA's reaction to the cap.
Union needs to get back there right now, and they're not moving right now. IVB is closest. They need to turn around and get back over there, or else they're going to lose the point before they get a chance.
IVB is definitely going to face some opposition before they get there, though, because
IVB are not even moving. They haven't even turned around. I don't think they're trying to.
HD is right behind them, and on top of that, MB is on the point. So if they want to go towards the point, they got to go through HD first. And then
Union, I think, Union are not going to get this, and part of the problem here is CSA now are taking the house, and that's going to make fighting on point really challenging.
The Union are running running straight down the road, which has very little cover. So I don't know if
I don't think Union's making it in time.
actually.
I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna be a second late. Ooh, no, they make it. They just make it.
It looks like there's a large CSA contingent though pushing through on the backside of where the Union comes from. They might be able to hit him in the side on their way from main. I don't know if it's gonna work out.
This is disastrous for Union now. They're almost surrounded on point now.
They're gonna get surrounded.
They're gonna get totally wiped here, and that's gonna take them to last stand instantly. I think.
Gonna be a slaughter from the CSA side onto the Union side here.
And if the Union even does manage to get back in there again, I think they'll be in last stand by the time they do. I think this is.
Yeah, it's too late. The ticket difference now is just far too big, I think.
Yeah, and there's a lot of time left. The CSA can afford to slow it down, but they don't need to. As the Union now is forced to funnel into point, and that's just going to turn into a meat grinder that the CSA is winning every day of the week.
Yep, it seems like the CSA has definitely held point here. There's a few Union guys behind this house, and now I think it's nothing.
Union coming back from main, and they're not going to make it in time, unfortunately.
It seems like, yeah, it's bayonets and go from Union here, so I think they're in a bit of trouble.
Yep.
They're coming in piecemeal.
And there's just too few of them. They're not going to make it in time even if they nothing and go at this point. So I think this is going to be it unless the Union does something very special here on this charge, or the CSA somehow drop the ball.
Yeah, no, there's just too
But
many
either way,
CSA
they're going to be last stand by the time they take it back, even if they did take it back.
Too late.
And there we have it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, very, very sudden sort of end to that game. It does cascade pretty quickly on that map, and I think the CSA did a nice job there of again splitting the Union force, making sure they were always in a position to be fighting a smaller force than themselves at some point of the map. And I think by holding that east side for so long, it meant when the Union had to scramble to point, they got surrounded, which I think was really smart by the CSA. So definitely. Good job by them. Any thoughts, Carter?
I don't think so. I think what happened here is really the CSA ended up with just better positioning in the end, even though really both teams were kind of mirroring each other the whole time on this map. But in the end, I think the CSA just had better shots and could easily hit the Union compared to the Union being able to hit the CSA.
Yeah, the Union just seemed, again, a little bit like the first game, a little bit too married to certain positions and to doing certain things, and the CSA seemed willing to switch it up a little bit, and that worked very well. And again, we're seeing Union suffering in the event overall about 600 more casualties than the CSA. A real meat grinder tonight for the Union boys. So yeah, that's the end of our coverage for tonight. Hope you enjoyed these two games. Hard fought, a lot of casualties. You can see, as I say that in the background, all the bodies in the street. But that's going to be it for us. I will be broadcasting the House Divided campaign tomorrow on Saturday, so make sure you tune in for that.